last day of the month, and we are all waiting for a volatile price action. This is a 4-hour chart of XRP, which shows you the price is consolidating. So now you connect the information which you get from the same chart, and you are looking at the price and the RSI. Here, the RSI suggests you that it's in a falling wedge. So usually when you get this falling wedge, it's either consolidative pattern which breaks to the upside, so it's a continuity pattern if it is in the trend. Now if it is coming from the top side to the bottom, it used to be a reversal pattern. So now you go back and you look at the price and the RSI. What do you see? Price and RSI both move to the upside. Price is consolidating, RSI is doing this. So possibly the chances are high that the RSI suggests that the price should move higher. It's showing you the falling wedge pattern. It's either, as we just saw, the continuity pattern or a reversal pattern, but in both ways it's bullish. Now look at the MACD here. The MACD shows that it has crossed to the upside, but it is still in the negative territory, the negative zone of RSI. So it needs to actually break to the upside. If you draw a line connecting all these tops, you know that in a while, if we manage to move above, that's going to give you more volume. Now, this is the general market, right? When you look at the last 7 days in this market, you can see only a few maintained in the green. Only a few moved to the upside, and one among them is Cardano, ADA, right? So if you are looking at that in a bullish manner, yes, we were following that. We were highlighting long-term buys were cool in a 4-hour chart. So that's kind of short to medium term chart which we use in the Patreon, where you can actually see the target was to the upside and we are still moving to the upside. Now yeah, after that there was a change in the pattern, but still we are following that one. Now looking at the general market on the last 24 hours, you can see a lot of them are in green. They bounced back. So there was a lot of positive trend which you could have observed in the trend line. So it's not only one asset, right? There are a lot of different assets. If you look at them properly, you can actually see some of them are making clear divergence with the indicators, showing that the price can move higher from here. Now, yeah, the general market would always have a doubt about, what BTC is going to do. So first, I'll actually take you to a Btc USD chart. This is what I see. We have a support here. That's cool. That's fine. Why that support? Because it was a resistance here previously, right? So that's 41,000. Then the next one is around 29,000. But at this time, when you look at the RSI, you can see that the RSI is slowly rounding up. But the MACD still has a lot of room to the downside, and so does the RSI, right? Now, the trend is to the downside. The channel is moving to the downside. Now remember, this high and this high, if you compare with the price, that's a clear divergence. You look at here in terms of price, it was moving to the upside. Whereas at the same time, you look at the RSI, it's showing you something similar. Now, MACD was not giving you a too high in terms of price, and the MACD, yeah, it was having the same trend, but it was still showing you the downside here, right? So that's on a daily chart for Bitcoin. Now you can actually move step back, look at Bitcoin on different time frames. Say this one is a weekly chart where you still see that the price is moving way higher. Now that the RSI is coming down, what should you be looking at? Now you can easily connect these tops here, and then you try to connect the bottom. So what do you actually get? Okay, it's in a falling channel. So what does it usually make? Usually whenever the price does this, it go back up to retest the support here. Okay, cool. And usually it breaks to the upside. So what if that really happens, right? Yeah, on the short term, say a 4-hour or a daily, we're looking the price is coming towards the trend line supports. Now, for that, I would actually take you to the usual long-term chart of Bitcoin, where you can actually see the long-term suggestions, right? Now, yes, it does suggest that we are nearing somewhere the top. But we still see a lot of institutions coming in, or at least the news suggests that institutions are jumping into an asset where the asset has already moved up 15x, 1600% in this market cycle. So it kind of confused me, because when I look at the market in any other asset class, I kind of see that, institutions or the smart money, at least, they buy at the bottom. But somehow the news is coming out saying that no, it's something different. We are entering right now, or at least 20, 25,000, 30,000 is our buying range. So they expect the price to go towards $500,000 or above that. Now, yeah, you can step back a little bit more looking at a monthly chart, and you still see that the RSI is moving to the upside. Compare the price with the RSI here. You can see that the price has actually kind of doubled, right? Not double, it actually kind of tripled almost, right? So it's almost to 88%, so say 300%. But at the same time, you look at the MACD here, it shows you this. Now there can be a confusion here while you reassess that with this. Say the high of this one and this one was kind of too high, right? We went a lot up. But when you compare the RSI, you kind of reach around an area where you are 97. So you are already overstretched in that buying territory. So if you look at that, we can see that the maximum is 100 there. So you can't actually comply, but sometimes it get even overextended. So now, yes, it can get extended, but right now we haven't actually done that. But remember, usually we get patterns and we try to follow them. So here that pattern actually suggests that it's moving in a direction where there is a reversal pattern, where there is a bullish strength still being, there. Now you can actually connect all the tops and say, okay, this is what I actually see, and I'm trying to suggest where the price is going. And it kind of ends up around 80,000, 90,000. Yeah, you can do pattern analysis, you can do trend analysis, you can do all the different stuffs which you want to do. But it's always up to you to understand. You buy at a support, sell or take profit at a resistance. Now you can actually look at this and say, to the support, it's like 100%, right? From the bottom, that's the to the resistance was 100%, and from the bottom to the price right now, it's 700%. So it's completely up to your consciousness to decide whether you're entering into an asset when it's forming this pattern here. Now that's completely up to you, and it's your decision. Now let's actually dig in and compare with the altcoin market. So we'll actually detail through the altcoin market cycle, then XRP and its different phases. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. XRP is showing world something new. So Ripple Insights gives you this, setting the stage for digital global payments. So we have to go through that and try to see what it really shows. So that's kind of the fundamental side of it. When the economy is having issues, you do have to look at the macro as well. Now this is the monthly chart of XRP, and the monthly close will happen today for this month. Now remember, last month we were in green. This month we are still above the moving average, but somewhere closer to red. Will we move into green and close in red? Will we stay in red? We don't know. We'll have to look at that. So we break down into a daily chart, 4-hour chart, and look what the price suggests in shorter time frame. Because in the monthly candle, yeah, if you want to do that on that monthly candle, you want to do that today. That's the daily chart. That's why you are here on a daily chart, and it suggests that the RSI is kind of at the trend line. Okay, it's at the support. Cool. So what does the price and MACD suggest? We have to look at that. We have to detail that. So stay tuned. Before we jump into the technical side of it, we can actually look at the current affairs, the recent news and fundamentals, right? XRP Crypto Wolf highlights this thing. It shows Etsy CEO says Bitcoin is not ready to become a means of payment. Remember, if you go back and look at the white paper of Bitcoin, you'll understand it was designed as a payment mechanism. Peer-to-peer payments was the target. Now, based on the current network, current price, all the other stuff technical, is it really viable to use Bitcoin as a means of payment? Because you see, even though you get news like this, which I truly believe is correct, you also see this stuff in the technical side. The Wolf of All Streets kind of highlights this, and an article is pointing towards his tweet. So it shows little bull flags are there, and in a shorter time frame charts, this is what you are looking at. We are breaking to the upside, we have upside. Okay, cool. Now that was highlighted on February 14th, showing that we are moving to the upside. Now, do understand this is happening at a time when central banks, governments, everyone is looking to move towards that digital era, right? So here, when you look at that, Bank of America issues warning about potential stock market bubble. This is a recent one from Feb 27. Now, when we say that, you also have to understand at the same time, people consider Bitcoin, at least we can say crypto, but majority look at Bitcoin or Ether, saying this is an alternative investment like silver, gold, platinum, whatever. You can invest here, you will retain your purchasing power. But that is the point where I kind of jump back into this and look at, okay, so wait, you're entering into a market crash. Okay, fine. So from that market, you're moving into another market. Okay, cool. What are you really looking at? To at least preserving your purchase power or increasing it, right? You want that to appreciate. And that's where we just talked about BTC. If you want to enter that, it's completely cool. It's completely fine. It's up to you. Now, this is the monthly chart. Remember, each tops, which you can see here, is having a long time frame. So that's 1,500 days in between. And if you want to look at the previous one, you can see that was like 850 days. So we kind of doubled, right? We kind of doubled. So if the same trend is to continue, you are looking at kind of 3,000 days when this market cycle would be ending. Now that's a long way from here. If you are to look at that, you are kind of looking at 2025. But no market cycle exists like that for crypto. Usually each of the market cycle for crypto is like 4 years. So you can't actually extrapolate that into that manner. What you do, you kind of take that and just delete it and think, if this is there, you can kind of take the average, say it's 1,000 days. But when you reach here, you're already 1,186 days. Now, think where you will be. Even if it is the average, say you would come somewhere around 1,200. That means you would be topping out this market cycle by this time frame. So that's time series analysis. Now, we did the pattern analysis, and what you understood, at least for me, those who are entering into Bitcoin, it's going to be damn hard for them. Why? Now, it's my opinion. I can be wrong, of course, but at least I'm not putting my money into this asset right now. How Bitcoin's vast energy use could burst its bubble. If it's meant to be a payments asset, it should behave like one. But right now, if you look at the energy consumption, this is what you actually see. Data centers worldwide shows you this. Okay, Bitcoin is 111, where Netherlands is 111. So, it's a little bit more than Netherlands. It's way higher than Chile, Tajikistan. You look at one of the biggest companies in the world, and it's way higher than that. Google provides a ton of services, and they consume 12.4. So, you have to actually understand, this is kind of, huge power consumption annually. So if you are to look at a payment mechanism, it should be viable. It should be sustainable. Now, is it just my opinion? No, you go throughout the world, you look at different guys, you look at what they are thinking about. Say this is W3C community, right? So they are talking about web monetization. So when you come back here, you kind of see that Google is there. What does Google do? They provide almost every service in the internet. First of all, the Google is a search engine. Now, YouTube, Google owned that. So it's another search engine where you can search almost everything and you kind of see different stuff. Now, this particular tweet, now it's a little bit old, but it gives me that opinion. Okay, you think it's particularly hard for the NSA or the government of China to do a 51% attack on Bitcoin? All it takes is money. Now, I would actually modify that, adopt that and modify that a little bit, saying, governments are printing money. In last 1 year, they printed $20 trillion. So do you really think it's hard for them to do this 51% attack if they really want to? Because at the end of the day, it's just printing money. They don't have to back it up with gold or anything. They can do if they want to. But if they really look at this, why would they even have to do that? Because it has a lot of issues within that. Now, yes, it was a disruptive technology which came up with a lot of different ideas. One of them is Ripple, the company, right? They came up with XRP, the asset. So yeah, you'll have confusion in that aspect. XRP came up first, then the Ripple Labs. So there would be a clarification. If you want to, we can go through that detail, but it's not about it. It's about the asset and its vision. So if you look at that, this is setting the stage for digital global payments. Now, this just came this week, and if you go through that, you'll understand one stuff. The adoption of cryptocurrencies, which has surpassed 1 trillion right now. If we go to the market cap and look at the market cap, we are 1.4 trillion. So that's nearing 1.5. That's a cool stuff to look at. So this came out in that manner. Now, if you look at this, is poised to eliminate friction and become the lubricant to accelerate transformation of the 1.9 trillion global payments market. Okay, cool. Now, therefore, we anticipate these key trends igniting the state of hypergrowth for digital payments globally. So in 2021 and beyond. So we still have cash moving in different economies. Say emerging markets, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all of those still use money. So based on the current health crises, they will also be looking at, okay, how can we go digital? How can we reduce the fees and the friction existing and moving into digital transactions? So when India, they took out their notes, right? The most valuable notes, 10,000, 2,000 rupees note, 1,000 and 2,000 rupees notes from the economy, and they were kind of pushing it to go digital. Okay, but the issue was in the developed countries, you use your credit or debit card, and the fees is negligible when you compare the price of each payment. But there in these emerging market, it's not like that. You have to pay that fees every time. So if you are a common man, you'll be thinking, okay, if I'm filling my fuel, gasoline, or whatever you call, for say 100 rupees, originally if I'm paying with cash, I would be paying 100. Now if I'm going digital, I have to pay 102 or 103. Why would I do that? So in the same way, there is a lot of friction existing in these markets, which has to be eliminated. So now that plumbing is there, the infrastructure to do that is coming. How? Accelerated adoption of mobile money using fintechs. Now for fintech, you can't praise them enough because that's the value which they actually provide compared to the brick and mortar banks. So now when we are looking at a new generation of technology which is providing business to business, peer to peer, business to customer, all the different type of payments, you do have to understand money is being moved. So if money is being moved into an area where fintechs are one of the new investment strategy for next 10 years, you should also align your portfolio something like that. At least I personally think that, in my opinion, that's one of the best thing you can do, right? Now you jump back into the technical stuff. You look at XRP. Say we explained this one in a 4 hour, so we'll jump into a monthly. So you look at this one, we were traveling below this line, trend line resistance. Cool. Now we broke above, we came back, retested, we are bouncing from there. We had the moving average, which is the 50-day moving average, as a resistance. Now we managed to break above that, stay above that for 1 month completely, and then this candle. So that's like 1.5 months. Now if we manage to close this particular day above it, that's bullish. That's really bullish. Why? I'll actually take you to the chart of XRP on a monthly chart, and then we'll actually see why. Because if you look at on a monthly chart, that particular level is around 0.35. We are still managing that about 0.35. Now, I'll take you through a 3-day chart and talk you through why that 0.35 mark is so important. Now, you can just delete all this and just take a horizontal line and go put that around 0.35. Yeah. Here. So basically you can see this entire pattern being played out there, which is below 0.35. So if you are managing to stay above that, that particular pattern has played out, and you would be personally looking at least the target of that measured move. So that should be 160, 170%. Now to be precise, you can take it from the bottom, it would be 200%. So from 0.35, if you are to plot that 200%, that would come somewhere around $1, right? So if you look at 70%, 80% of that, you're still around 0.9. That's fine. Why? Because next time, if you're going to do that clearly, you're going to move about this particular item, which is 0.74, which we wicked previously. Then if you look at this particular area, we closed that candle there and we again came and retested that area. Now we haven't broken that particular level and we are looking forward to it. So in order to get that, you really have to break that level. But on a 3-day chart, the MACD is kind of coming back closer to the bottom. So it can cross to the downside or it can bounce. So we are waiting for that. You see here, we crossed to the downside. RSI was moving to the downside and we did that. We went down. Now, if you kind of look at the same here, you have a little bit space. Okay, that's on a 3-day chart. Now, what if you actually move into a daily chart? This is what you see. The RSI is at the support range. The MACD is moving down. I agree, but the MACD is still in the positive zone. So if it's rounding from here, it can still do that. It can still move to the upside. How I say this? You see this? We came top. We were going to the downside, but we rounded and managed to stay in the positive zone and move upside. Now, look at the price. On a macro, yeah, you kind of have a trend channel, a rising channel in which, it's kind of a widening channel. But you tested the resistance. It came back, consolidated there, and now the chances are if you bounce, you can go all the way up to 0.71. So what is that change on a monthly chart? It can go back and close on green. So if that happens today, on a monthly chart, you are again turning bullish. Why? 0.7 is somewhere here, right? You're reaching this particular point with 0.7, and the previous close here, if you do that precisely, that was 0.67. So if you does that 0.7, that's brilliant. That's going to be double bullish for XRP. So guys, if you're actually looking at these type of charts analysis for all the different assets which you have, say one of them which we did previously was Phantom. We posted Phantom previously, talking about this is what you actually looking at, because if this plays out, you're gonna make money. And this was that chart which we were actually talking about. If you break that, you are going to reach that target. Now, we were actually looking at this particular stuff. Now, we did that a week ago. So that was like 21. Now, the surprising fact here is, even though we are looking at short to medium term opportunity, say you're looking at something, a pattern breaking out, and you're like, okay, this is going to happen inside 20, 30, 40 days. But what really happens, the market kind of pushes it in a way that you are surprised yourself. Why? Because the market is kind of like, okay, we were to do this in 30 days, but the euphoric action of the investors inside the same asset pushes the price so high. You look at this. I was targeting this 236% in kind of at least for me, I posted to my patron in a way that it's going to reach in short to medium term. But what happened? Within a week, we kind of moved up to that asset. If you go into this particular chart of Phantom, what you can see, we moved there easily. We reached that target. So if you go into a daily chart, this was the pattern which I suggested. This is kind of the area where we were looking at. You can go in, look at 0.89. Now you can actually come back to the chart and see where we went. We went closer to that. We reached 0.89. So that's how you look at pattern. That's how you understand pattern and put your orders, take profit, stop loss. If you do that, then make money. Why you want to make money? Now that's why you are in this market, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be coming to crypto, which is the riskiest asset class. It's not only about making profit. It's mainly about controlling your risk, managing your risk, and making profits. So that's what we do in our Patreon group. So just to give you guys an idea, we kind of go through different assets in all different time frames, looking at safe position to enter. If you would like to get the same, I'll suggest you can join the Patreon, but next day, 1st of the March in your geographical area, so that you won't double pay. Now, even if you enter today and if it's being, double paid, don't worry, I'll refund that for you. I hope you received value for your time, and if you did, please do hit that like and subscribe button so that you're supporting the channel. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.